Okay, so you guys asked me about the Melnor sprinkler, and so here we go. It works really well. It does work like it's supposed to work. The stops do what they're supposed to do, and as you can see, it works pretty darn well. And we can hear other people's music. That's not the point. But yeah, it's pretty quick. And from what I can see, it's given a pretty good coverage on the lawn as well. The only thing that I can tell you so far from what I can see is that instead of the TJ arm shooting the water straight out in front, I'm going to say it's probably about a 20-degree, maybe 30-degree angle from the mainstream. So as you can see, the water's there on the side and landing on the side. But in general, outside of the minor little glitch, it works pretty darn well. Let me show this from the other side because I don't want to get wet. The water's coming all the way over here and getting me wet. And I'm standing on the sidewalk. It was pretty easy to adjust as well. When I adjusted the deflector, that went down pretty well. And I'm still getting wet. Now the one that I had on here before, which looked like a Melnor, which actually wasn't, has a little bit different arm. It worked pretty well. And while I'm here, I'm going to give you a quick update on the U61D, which I had on here. I want to walk around on the other side here. So this beautiful brass U61D, which is in this case, a champ, but still the same basic model that all these other companies have been making, like Buckner, J&L, Nelson, and so on. So the one thing that I discovered was I took the nozzle off. And when you know it, there had to be a reason why I wasn't getting a good solid spray out of it, because it had a piece of something blocking from the inside. And so that made sense. Now here's the funny thing. When it had that that little tiny blockage in there, the sprinkler did work. Didn't work great, but it did work. Now when I took it off, it worked until it got to the reversing point and wouldn't go all the way. But as far as the general movement of the sprinkler was more like what I expected to see in the sprinkler. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this journal tube off and the sleeve, and I'm going to put a spring right in between the body and the sleeve, right in this space. And so what that'll do is hopefully give it just enough little pressure to help make it turn like it's supposed to. But in the meantime, we've got the Melnor one running just beautifully. But I wanted you guys to see this because it was odd that after I fixed the problem, the nozzle part was working beautiful. And then when the sprinkler was moving, it moved like I expected it to move, like I've seen these move in the past. But it would not go into the reverse direction. So basically, it would get to this point. It would get to this point and would not go into reverse. And when I let it go, it would go just fine. And when I try to get it, looks like the pin's bent. Maybe that's it. I'll straighten that out a little bit. But, like I said, it would get to this point and would not go through past this point. So, I'm going to see what I can do to fix it. But basically, now it works along the lines of what I expected it to do. As a matter of fact, this stopped at the same place that the rain time sprinkler stopped, is it would stop in the forward direction before it would make the switch to reverse. So, when I helped it, it worked. But that was the same thing that the rain time did. And I'm sure if I had more pressure than just household pressure, this would probably go further. But I was pleased because one of the things that I had to do was bring the deflector down so that it wasn't shooting too far. So that also was a positive. So I'm going to take the journal tube apart and the sleeve off and see if I can put a spring in there that will make a difference. Don't know that it will, but one of the things is I can tell you, this is nice and loose, but on a brass sprinkler, it's too loose. And so consequently, when it's that loose, it needs a lot more, needs a lot of extra pressure. So anyway, there you go. Probably what you didn't expect.